What's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we're diving into the 15-star Super Boss versus Yamato. Well, not versus Yamato, but versing Yamato. And breaking down not only the individual stages, but taking a look at the team that I put in the prep video. Now, these teams are designed to not use the new badge. So if you guys haven't summoned for Kaido, Orochi, Kid Law, or Big Mom, these teams might help you out. They do include stuff like the anniversary characters, because I know a lot of people summon there. Plus, they've popped back up on these particular banners. And they do include Gear 5, because Gear 5 should be the character you are aiming for this particular celebration, as it is the Gear 5 celebration. So, hopefully these teams help you guys out. Obviously, there are some bigger teams and some bigger damage teams that I'm testing. We might release them towards the back end, but as I mentioned in the prep video, I do have 9 other members to think about and 9 other members to respect, so I'm not going to be sort of throwing out my team straight away, but hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell notification, because look, those teams may be coming as shorts and stuff like that in the future. But if you enjoyed the video, like I said, bell, like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys are using down below in the 15-star and the 10-star Super Boss and regular Kazuna. With that said, let's dive in. Alright, so we're going to start it off with the Int variation, utilizing the Gear 5 and Nami team. So that's the team, those are the spots. Let's dive in. Now, yes, this team is interchangeable. If you have Nami, you can bring Nami Captain with a friend Gear 5 6-star, or you can do it how I'm doing with 6-star with a Nami friend Captain. If you have Rainbow Nami, bring Rainbow Nami, the Rainbow Gear 5 friend Captain. If you don't have Rainbow Nami, then bring your own Gear 5 and a Rainbow Nami. Vice versa, whatever works for you guys is whatever's going to work. I do find using your own Gear 5 with the Sabo support is going to be very, very good. And something that I have missed here is to use the Queen support on Yamato. That's the reason I have the Vivi support on Sanji, so that way you get that Queen extra resistance. If you don't have Queen, don't stress. It's just like an extra 1.1. Like, it's good, but it's not the end of the world. You do get Hunger on stage 2 for this particular fight, and then there's a barrier, but if you just pass the turn, you get Paralysis and Special Reverse. And the combination of Nami and Gear 5 is so good for this fight, because you just completely bypass both of them, plus all the Paralysis goes into Nami, and that just builds up her base stats and her chain buff. It's so nice to see Nami just thriving alongside Gear 5. This combination was always going to be so deadly, and we knew when Super Boss came around, we could actually showcase how powerful this is. If you guys have Rush Sanji, use Rush Sanji over the Sai Sanji as well. Like, definitely do that. You're just going to get a bigger chain boundary, and you're just going to funnel that straight back into Gear 5. The downside to this particular fight, well, actually, there's not really a downside to this particular fight, I shouldn't say. I was thinking of something else. On the final stage against Yamato, if you do damage, she actually just does 150k. You are going to die, but Luffy's just going to revive, so that's awesome. It only happens once, so you can just pop Nami, and that way you can get the chain boost and the base stats. Utilizing Yamato with the Queen support will do the additional damage, and then you get the resistance, provided you can rotate an orb. So that's why I had the Vivi support on Sanji. Sanji's going to be our chain boundary. We have a double conditional with Robin, and then we have Nami for our secondary conditional. Roger's our attack booster, and then we have orbs and color affinity with Luffy. Now, ideally, you want to use Luffy last, so that way you get a full board of Sai slots, because Luffy's going to make them a 3x multiplier. And then the Sabo support just gives him base stats. Finish it off with Nami's super class, so that way you get the tandem slot, and that way you can activate her super tandem. You're going to start the chain with Robin, then hit with Sanji into Nami to activate that super tandem ability, and then you can move into Roger as well as Yamato, and then finish it off with Gear 5. If you guys have Kid Law, run Kid Law over instead of Roger. That's going to do more damage. If you guys have Momo, the Momo's a boosted unit, so you can use him over Roger too. So Roger's literally just there because he's an attack booster. But that's the first team against Int. Does very, very nice damage, to be honest, and that particular team was always going to be the big one when it came to the damage output that we could see. On to the next fight. Moving on to the next fight now, we are taking on Dex, and this particular team we are using Sasaki with a friend Captain Kaido. So that was the team, those are the supports. Let's dive on in. Now, the downside to Kaido is there's not a lot of good super tandem units that can kind of go alongside this particular guy. I decided to use Sasaki, and honestly, I was really keen to see how this team performed. But it's definitely going to be the weakest of the 3 teams that you guys see in today's video. It definitely takes the least amount of investment. It has a lot more older units and free-to-play units and stuff like that as well. So it is what it is when it comes to this particular team. But look, it was still really, really fun to build this team. It was really still fun to use and actually see Sasaki shine in Super Boss. On stage 2, you get a full board of deck slots. There is damage reduction and defense up by 6 turns. And the enemy actually hits you, so you apply the additional damage with Kaido. We are going to utilize the Jack special to give ourselves 3 turns of color affinity. Then with the Legend Queen support, you can remove 2 turns of defense up. With the Straw Hat Crew, you can give yourself a whole bunch of buffs. And then with Mihawk, you remove some damage reduction. And then you can use the double special activation of Daifuku to remove the rest of the defensive effects. We're then going to finish it off with the Kaido Super EX. So that way our Powerhouse and Strength characters have a Super Class and a Super Type. Now, X-Drake and Kaido are both Powerhouse. I don't remember if Jack is. Nevertheless, Jack still gets... no, he is Powerhouse, yeah. So the 3 of them have a Super Class and a Super Type, which is awesome. But look, Sasaki's also a Powerhouse too. You want to make sure you tap with Sasaki to remove that Wano Orb. And ideally, you don't want a Dex Orb on your Sasaki. So make sure you don't have those sockets that can increase your Orb roll. You want the ones that lower the chance. Because you don't want to get a Dex Orb. On this final stage, we are going to use the Chain Boundary of X-Drake. We then have the base stats from Sasaki, and then his Super Class is going to give him a Tandem Orb, so that way you can activate that. Start with Daifuku. You got to hit a great here, so good, so that way you can break the barrier. Then hit with Sasaki, and then hit with Kaido to activate his Rush. Ideally, you want to find a level 5 Rush Kaido to maximize your damage here. As you can see, you're already sitting at a 4.5 times chain, which is awesome. Then when you hit with Jack, you activate Sasaki. And as you can see here, we hit for around 18.5 billion. And then that's going to then funnel into into the final tap of Straw Hat Crew. But remember, Straw Hat Crew, they're also going to hit as well. So there is quite a bit of damage there as well. So Super Boss versus Dex was a lot of fun to build for. Let's move on to the final fight now. The final team I actually changed massively. I totally forgot that Gear 5 6 Plus exists. We could just build out like a rainbow team. Hell, you could even use the team that I posted and just use a 6-star as the friend captain. But utilizing Gear 5, he removes Despair. I was doing stuff with Roger, but I was like, what was I thinking? Why would I just not build for Gear 5 6 Plus? Like, just make a rainbow team and just go for gold there. We are using Zoro as our captain, so now we have 2 units that can actually use rainbow damage. Now, this particular fight, the first half of the enemy is strength, and the last half of the enemy is Dex. Now, that doesn't mean that when you go into the fight, it's like that. It's actually in the fight, which is really, really interesting. Having rainbow damage obviously helps, but the way that you tap is also incredibly key for this particular fight as well. Now, this team is very finicky, by the way. Ideally, you want to eat all your meat orbs, recovery orbs very, very early, and then use the Hiyori special on turn 2 to give yourselves back a whole bunch of Wano Orbs. She's actually going to give you a monster heal, which goes straight into Carrot and Nami. Their special is going to be very valuable at the back end because they can give a chain boundary as well as a chain multiplicative. And then, ideally, like I said, you just want to try and build up some of those Wano slots for Zoro. On stage 2 against Luffy, he despairs you, but that goes away. And then he special binds your cerebral characters. But Nami and Carrot are awesome because they completely remove special bind on their switch, which is very, very valuable. Then we're going to use the Odin and Toki switch. That way we get some healing. They're also going to give an orb boost to our slashes, which just helps us kill on this particular stage. It just works really nicely. Again, if you guys have the Germa ship as well, you can definitely use the Germa ship, but the damage on this particular stage might be a little bit tight. As you guys saw there, I used the Yamato special. That's going to give us an attack boost just to really help us out with the kill there. Then on the final stage, we are going to get a full board of Super Block Orbs. As you guys can see there, I did save the Wano Orb on Zoro. That is very, very important. Hopefully you guys have the Tempura support as well. Like I said, this team is very finicky. The Tempura support gives you base stats because you can't actually use the base stats on this particular stage. As you saw, we swapped with Odin and Toki. We're then going to use their special to give ourselves a monster heal. Markano can remove some defense up as there is 5 turns of defense up. Then we can switch with Carrot and Nami. So we have an int character. We can use their special for the chain boundary and the chain multiplicative. We got so much heal that we actually get to a 1.5, which is awesome. Zoro, make sure to sheath and actually go into his Enma state. Use the Super EX of Luffy to get rid of the Super Block Orbs. Then you can utilize the Zoro special to give you an attack boost and a conditional. He is going to make Tandem Orbs into 2.5. It's a bit annoying that you can't use Luffy first, but look, it is what it is. Use the Versatility Yamato to give you the 1.6 extra damage with her damage reduction effect, and then finish off with Luffy to increase the attack boost, and then overwrite that orb boost that Oden and Tokyo were actually providing. Now we can use the Super Tandem with Zoro, and this is where the tapping actually comes into play very, very nicely. I don't remember if Oden is part of Zoro's Super Tandem. If it is, you actually want to start with Carrot, Nami, Oden, and then Zoro. I actually can't remember for the life of me. And then you can hit with your 2 Dex units once the HP actually goes down. It's very, very interesting how this HP threshold actually works. Because as you can see here, Zoro's going to hit, bring us down, and then actually we get super type with our Yamato there. So works exceptionally well, plus it did a lot of damage before even getting close to Gear 5, 6+, and that way with that rush, you're going to go absolutely ballistic. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to go down there, belt like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Let's